In this show, we are going to have some real talks about being a firstborn. This show is not all about firstborns only. Even if you are a big sibling, a middleborn, a lastborn, just come and listen to big siblings what we share, because also we're going to have some guests in our show. We'll be talking about their experiences with firstborns who are like middleborns. Mostly they say they are forgotten. They'll be in our show telling us like, why do they think they're forgotten? The lastborns, they'll be telling us the experiences with their firstborns, what they like about their firstborns, what they don't like. So we're going to have some real talks. There'll be raw talks, and also have some exciting activities during our show. We'll be having guests, we'll be having some fun activities like asking questions, playing some games during the show. So it's going to be an interesting and a fun show. Welcome to Big Sibling Energy. Feel relaxed, and this is the place to be. Okay, on this first episode, we are going to talk about topics that we'll be discussing as firstborns. Like, for example, sibling dynamics. We are going to have real talks. We are going to have building connections. We are going to also talk about our mental well-being as firstborns, our experiences. Like for me, I became a parent just after high school, because after high school, that's when I started taking care of my siblings. Like, for example, taking them to school. Like, I remember my sister going to help her get her shopping and everything. So that's when some responsibilities came as a firstborn. And then those responsibilities have escalated until now. And sometimes our parents think that now as firstborns, we know everything that we need to be. But sometimes I feel like it's not right for them to have that perception, because we didn't have someone else to show us what to do. We are also trying our best, and we need to be role models. And being a role model doesn't mean that we have to be perfect, doing the right thing. Sometimes being a role model, you have to make mistakes and come back again. So after making mistakes and you come back again. So if you are a role model to someone and see maybe there's some part that you fell and you rose again, it will be like something good, because you know, okay, my sister once had this struggle, but she came back. So sometimes being role model doesn't mean you have to be perfect. And we are going to also talk about being perfect as firstborns. We don't need to be perfect, by the way. I've been trying to work on that, like understanding that I don't have to be perfect, because sometimes I try to be perfect, because I feel like, for example, when my sibling needs something, I need to do for them as a firstborn. I don't think like, I also have myself to take care of, but I'm spending most of my time taking care of my siblings, or rather other kids, compared to how I take care of myself. And no one checks on me to ensure that I'm okay, because they think I have a big sister, they can talk to me, but who am I going to talk to? Because some of us were brought up with African parents that we don't have to show our weakness, or we don't talk to them some of our challenges we go through. Like, personally, I'm so introverted. I don't share my problems at all. And then I wish sometimes if I had a big sibling that will be sharing, I'll be sharing to and telling them I'm going through this, and then I need help. It will be easy that way than being now someone is expecting you to be a role model, do the right thing, show them the right way, and you are not able to also do it yourself. So those are some of the things that we'll be discussing about. And then also we are going to have different experiences from different people, because there's this thing about being a firstborn daughter and a firstborn son. Those are two different dynamics. Maybe something that a firstborn daughter goes through is not the same thing that a firstborn son goes through. Because like a daughter, there are some responsibilities that you take that if you're a firstborn son, you don't take. And sometimes I think mostly firstborn sons don't care. I don't know. But we'll have a firstborn son, we'll be telling his experiences, if that's true. Like, that's my thought now, I think. But for us, like firstborn daughters, we tend to take a lot of responsibilities from parents. Parents expect us a lot from us. And they think, for example, if you have a job, you need to be now the provider. At the end of the month, they'll be like, okay, you're working and you're earning. You don't have a family. What are you doing with your money? So your money, you need to take care of your siblings and also take care of your parents. Those are some of the challenges as firstborn that we go through. But not also, we don't also have challenges. There are some privileges that we get as firstborns. Like for example, me as a firstborn, I don't think when I was growing up, I got a lot of privileges because being a firstborn, the parents having the first kid, they want to take him to school, a good school. Everything that I need, I was able to get. Compared to my other siblings, like maybe thirdborn, fourthborn, and others, there's something that they don't get because now the parents are used to. If it's taking kids to school, they're used to doing that. So it's not something new to them compared if you are a firstborn. And then as a firstborn, you always get a bigger piece of cake, right? Yes, you always get a bigger piece of cake. So those are some of the privileges that we get as firstborns. We also need to know ourselves well, our mental well-being as firstborns. Are we okay emotionally, mentally? Most of the time we are not okay because, as we said, we don't share because we don't have maybe big siblings or someone to share about our feelings. Like me, I like crying a lot. Crying helps me. That's how I'm able to release my emotions, by crying, because I don't share. So sometimes, if as firstborns, we need to talk about our mental well-being. Are we okay? Are we really okay mentally? I know most of us, we are not, because of the burden of responsibilities, burden of being perfect. Also, there's a pressure of being like, you need to be a role model, you need to be perfect. Like, why are you getting poor grades? If you're getting poor grades, you're setting a bad example to your other siblings or other people, because you're getting poor grades and you expect your other siblings to get good grades and they look up to you. So that's some pressure that we get, and it's not good pressure, by the way. So tell us what you feel about it. And then if you're a firstborn, a secondborn, thirdborn, lastborn, tell us your experiences or what we do as firstborns that you don't like. Because maybe sometimes our generations are different. Maybe there's something I didn't do and I see my younger siblings doing it and I was like, what are you doing? Oh, and maybe that's the generation right now. Because having a phone, I had my first phone after high school. But now my siblings, after high school, you have a phone. You are in class 8, you have a phone. What are you doing with your phone? Sometimes I feel bad when I see my sibling using a phone and is in high school. Because for me, I felt like when I was growing up, I was told like, you're not supposed to have a phone. It's bad to have a phone when you're in high school. And then that's how I stayed without a phone. And then I got my first phone after high school. So some things, for me, I feel bad like when I see a younger sibling using his phone, is in high school, trying to go to social media, and I'm like, what are you doing in social media and you're still in high school? That's because I didn't have access to that phone while in high school. So I tend to forget this generation is different. Social media, my time, maybe it was not that much the way it is right now. And having a phone, sometimes it's useful because they can use to study. So some things like that brings this conflicts, siblings conflicts, because I'll be shouting, I'll be talking about like don't need to use a phone, and it's a good way because they also have the way to explain themselves why they're using their phone, and maybe it's in the right way. So things like that makes this thing about big siblings sometimes not that good. Yeah, they don't like you sometimes because of how you treat them. Like for me, I know myself, I'm very strict. Like my sisters right now, they are over 20 years, but they can't tell me if they have boyfriends or not. Because they've never seen me with a boyfriend, and I've never been given them space to talk about their boyfriend. Those dynamics, and then we need to create a good relationship where someone is able to share what's feeling the life to you. That's about the introduction of this show. On the comment section down below, tell us your experiences, what you feel like we need to talk about, your journey as a big sibling, your journey as a young siblings. If you relate well with your big sibling, you as a big sibling, what you don't like about your younger sibling, you as a younger sibling, what you don't like about your big sibling. Yeah, big sibling it's not about like being a firstborn. Maybe you can be a big sibling to other siblings. Doesn't mean you have to be a firstborn. And yes, and also our relationship with our parents. Is our relationship with our parents okay? I don't know. Okay, we also need to discuss about that. Also, lastborns, tell us your experiences, because you know you are mostly favored because you are the last people in the family. That's it about this first episode of Big Sibling Energy. I hope you enjoyed the talk. We're going to have more real talks and more experiences now, discussing further and in detail. I'll also be giving my experiences in detail, like how it has been since I was growing up until now. Make sure you like, subscribe. We'll be sharing your experiences. We'll be reading your comments in the next show. See you in the next episode. Until next time, bye.